This is the portable gimbal Zhiyun Crane M, which is a very special gimbal because in one hand it is a smaller gimbal for point and shoot GoPro mobile phones, very compact and lightweight than the regular gimbals for DSLRs. But on the other hand, it has a load capacity of 650 grams, which is just enough to hold high-end mirrorless cameras like Sony a6500, Panasonic G85, G7, etc. And this makes it very attractive to the travelers who wants a lightweight portable setup without compromising much with the camera power. For example, here I have Sony a6500 with 16 to 50 millimeters of lens, and the total weight is around 600 grams, which is within the weight limit of this gimbal. And still I have APS-C sensor, 120 fps of shooting, one of the world's fastest autofocus tracking, 4K video, 5-axis in-body image stabilization, very good low light sensitivity, etc. Also, this 16 to 50 millimeters is a very good range of focal length for most of the video shooting, because in the 16 millimeters I get 2 millimeters extra in the wider side compared to the usual 18 millimeters, and the 50 millimeters is a standard portrait focal length. So it's a very powerful and convenient combination with a very compact and portable setup. Also, this Crane M has 12 hours of battery life, so no need to worry for the whole day of outdoor shooting. I also found this small tripod which matches very nicely with Crane M and keeps the whole setup very compact. One more nice thing about this 16 to 50 mm lens when using with a gimbal, that this lens does not extend much when you zoom it. So the balancing of the gimbal does not get destroyed while zooming. For example, this is now at 16 mm and the gimbal is balanced with the camera, and now if I zoom it, this is now around 20 mm, and still you can see that the gimbal is balanced. If I zoom it a little bit more, now it is around 35 mm, and you can see that the balancing is still there. If I zoom it all the way to 50 mm, now you can see that the gimbal is little bit off balanced, but we can use a simple trick. Just take out this tilting LCD little bit outside, and this compensates the weight in the other side, and again the balancing of the gimbal is restored without moving the position of the camera on the gimbal. So this makes it very convenient to use this lens with this camera when using a gimbal, because the balancing holds for the whole zoom range. The Crane M also has 4 modes, just like the bigger regular crane. The pan mode, the pan and tilt mode, the locked mode, and the selfie mode or the reverse mode. It is also possible to control the Crane M remotely by the Zhiyun app by connecting the crane with a mobile phone via Bluetooth, where you can rotate the crane in all 3 different axes and also change the settings of the crane related to sensitivity, calibration, etc. The Crane M comes in this box, which is very similar to the box of the bigger regular crane, only the difference is size. The casing of Crane M a bit smaller and softer than the bigger crane, and inside the box we have this user manual, the main crane body, the battery holders for charging, the USB cable for charging, and the handles which holds the batteries. Now the batteries for both the versions are exactly same, and that's why the handles of both the cranes are also exactly same. So this is a true crane side by side. The handle and the button part of these two cranes are exactly same. The difference starts from the first motor after the handle and in the upper part, and you can see this quick release plate and the camera mounting position are also very different in size, but the lower control part and the handle parts are exactly the same for the two cranes. Now both the cranes are now mounted on two similar tripods, so that we can have some idea about their heights. On the left, the Crane M, the camera on the Crane M is Sony a6500 with 16 to 50 millimeter lens. On the right, we have the regular bigger crane, and the camera is Panasonic Lumix GH2 with 14 to 140 millimeter lens. Now one last thing, both the Crane M and the crane, they support USB control cables through which we can control the Sony or Panasonic cameras directly from the crane without touching the camera buttons, and this is another plus point of this crane, very convenient while shooting. Now they work differently for Sony and Panasonic cameras. For Sony camera, we can control the zoom and the shutter buttons from the crane buttons, and for the Panasonic cameras we can control the focus and the shutter buttons from the crane. So this is all for now from me about these two cranes and Sony a6500, and I hope you might find some of this information useful for you. Thanks for watching.